Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Typhon here, and I just want to talk to you about Sam Altman. Are we really sure that guy is even human by this point? He reminds me of that meme from Meta a couple of years ago about Mark Zuckerberg and just the lizard thing. I'm not kidding. He kind of reminds me of that.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human, but I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
But first, we are going to check out this video, then I'm going to say what I think about what I really in general feel like. I just want the AI bubble to explode. I just want the AI bubble to explode by this point. It just doesn't do anything for the society, for the good of society. I thought that AI was meant to be used to progress like society forwards in terms of technology, in terms of medicine and things like that, but it's kind of been shown recently that it just doesn't produce nothing at all. Doesn't produce any profit for OpenAI, and it doesn't produce anything for the good of humanity.
Desperately want to convince you that everything they do is for the betterment of humanity.
And it
that AI
fucking
will be
isn't.
an instrumental tool for our future development as a human race, as a society.
No, it fucking
this
isn't.
Technological advancement that will make life better for all of us. And yet the way they're so irresponsibly racing towards being the first leaders in this technology is something that calls all of that into question, whether it's the way their business antics has caused the market of consumer electronics and consumer electronics parts to just be completely screwed over with
My fucking RAM, it's worth over 1,000. It's more priced than my graphics card. My graphics card is a couple years old, but it was the strongest graphics card back then. Right now, my graphics card is worth less than my RAM. What do you mean?
massive supply shortages of consumer electronics and in turn mass inflation of consumer electronics, all the negative environmental impact that AI is having with how much water and electricity it consumes, and as a result it's actually increasing price of electricity for everyone, especially those who live around data centers. It's starting to replace humans who, would do a better job than what AI can currently output due to its inconsistencies, its hallucinations, just a general inconsistency and unreliability in its quality output, and all of it trained off of other people's stolen work and stolen art, all of it with a lack of concern for the ethical questions surrounding things like deepfakes and the misinformation
Recently on
that this
Instagram,
technology
you don't
constantly
know
presents,
if
or the
it's
security
true or
concerns
if it's not
that
true. It's
allow
always,
people to
is this
exploit
AI on the
to
comments,
breach
every
your
single one of the
computers
videos.
and your electronics. There is a lot of issues that AI needs to resolve, but it's already being treated as a final product. And again, there's just this selfishness, this level of self-interest on the part of executives who are racing towards the finish line of the AI race that highlights they don't really care about our benefit. They care about theirs. They care about their ability to be at the top of the food chain, or the corporate chain in this case. And then there is a recent statement from OpenAI CEO, with OpenAI in particular being among the most despised AI companies among enthusiasts due to how instrumental they were in the current state of things, especially when it comes to the consumer electronics market. But basically, with this recent statement, he kind of said the quiet part out loud. It revealed a lot about the mentality of AI executives and what their true goals and intentions are, how they view human beings, and the way they want AI to be at the forefront no matter the cost. So this right here is a statement from Sam Altman from a recent interview, and I want you to listen to what he said. And just judging by the almost 20 million views that this tweet got versus, like 17,000 likes and all of the tweets and quote tweets and responses, but the sheer amount of viewership that this got and the level of criticism and backlash and vilification that is occurring against Sam Altman really highlights that this right here struck a chord with the masses in the way these kinds of executives think of us. So here's the clip in question that has gone viral and that has really
by now
painted
it's
a
probably
much
more than
picture
20 million views.
Of how truly evil these companies and executives can be. Check this out.
One of the things that is always unfair in this comparison is people talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model relative to how much it costs a human to do one inference query. But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life.
He's talking about humans like we're nothing. What the fuck, dude? Are you okay? How did we let this tech fucking genius run the world?
And all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to like figure out science and whatever to produce you, and then you took whatever you took. So the fair comparison is if you ask ChatGPT a question, how much energy does it take once its model is trained to answer that question versus a human? And probably AI has already caught up on an energy efficiency basis measured that way.
Like this really
What the fuck?
actually genuinely
Shut the
pisses me
fuck
off.
up.
The way he talks about human beings as currency, energy.
It's just disgusting. Like, this is a businessman that's running the world right now. We gave him this power. We shouldn't have given him this power. Like, what the fuck?
Currency, productivity currency, and how AI can quite literally replace and do better than humans. He speaks of AI not as a tool to help humanity, but as just being better than human beings. Like providing energy for AI is better than just how quote unquote inefficient it is to raise a human being or to train a human being. That's how he perceives humanity. He views humanity as a currency that serves as a means to an end.
And an end is for him to get rich or for the AI to just rule the world, basically, without any sort of measure.
Rather than humanity being the whole fucking point of this. It is
Exactly. I thought like AI was meant to serve the human, not the human serve the AI, not us feeding the AI.
such an inhumane way to view human life with the way he talks about training humans, quote unquote, or raising humans, or, you know, having them go through the human experience as if it were an inconvenience. Instead of thinking of humans.
You and me both are humans. You that are watching this video and me that's reacting to this video. We are both humans. We are made of meat, we are made of experience, we are made of failures, but that make us people. Real people. Not some fucking code written on a machine. We have emotions. We have feelings. We are worth it. One fucking AI is not worth it to one human life. Nothing is worth it to a human life. Sacrificing a human life, it's not worth it.
As the main purpose of us being here. For someone like Sam Altman, AI has more value than human life. In his view, training AI is a better use of resources than humanity. If these are the...
I just want the fucking AI bubble to explode. Just ruin all of those companies. Just fucking shit on them. Turn them upside down. Just go for it. Hopefully this turns out in like 2 years or 3, just the AI bubble explodes and they lose everything. Hopefully that happens.
Kinds of people we let have power and control over how just the world
we gave him way too much power.
Then humanity is truly fucked. If these people are not in it to help humanity as a whole, to lift
no,
us
they are
all
not.
up
They are
together,
here
but
to win
talk
money.
about human beings as like productivity to energy ratio, then like
I can even see that on my day-to-day life. Like I go to my company where I work at 8 hours a day. I used to work 12 hours a day, and they just care about productivity. They don't care if you are sick, if you are not sick, if you are not doing too much. If you are not doing too much, they kick you out. They don't care about what type of thing it's going on behind. They only care about the money that you generate.
we're missing the whole.
And this is exactly the same thing. He only cares about humans as currency. He only cares about how much we produce and how much we are able to give for the AI.
Plot of like us being on this freaking planet. And the thing is, this is nothing new. This is how executives view everyone who they deem underneath them, right? The consumers. We are just a currency to them. This is not a new mentality. This is how CEOs have always looked at us. But the stakes are higher now because AI is such a powerful technology, because it is so harmful to the environment in so many ways, because of its destruction.
AI hasn't produced anything meaningful meaningless these couple months, this couple of years, AI hasn't done anything meaningless. It has done nothing. It has produced no profit, has done nothing for the human life. Maybe in the medicine field it has produced a little bit, but in the rest of the world, nothing. Jobs that have been cut off from people who deserve those jobs, have, like, those companies have sent out like the profit margins of the year and things like that, and it has registered lower than when humans were operating that sort of field on those sort of area. So it's not looking good for the future. If the AI bubble doesn't burst in the next 3 years, we are completely fucked for the rest of our lives.
Capabilities to be exploited and abused. It can be used as a powerful force of good if properly applied. But what this clip right here highlights is the true intention of Sam Altman, who probably doesn't even recognize that what he's saying is just so dehumanizing. And that makes it even scarier. The amount
disgusting.
of backlash and vilification I've seen against OpenAI after this statement from Sam Altman is like a wave of backlash that is at a level I've never seen against OpenAI. And they're already pretty vilified before, with people posting memes like this and comic strips like this that highlight the just
I'm
utter
very
ass backwards
intelligent.
thinking of this.
We should conserve drinking water. Yet you drink water. I'm very intelligent. Shut the fuck up, ChatGPT.
Utterly dehumanizing way in which CEOs think of us, where you got human beings saying we should conserve drinking water, and you've got basically this representation of AI saying, yet you drink water, I'm very intelligent. But the whole point of collective human society, if we want to survive and thrive as a species, is to work together to ensure that everything we do is towards a future where everyone gets to have drinking water, everyone gets to have a home, where everyone gets to just like thrive and be able to live in an environment where we're allowed to make choices and have human experiences. Like, that is something that someone like Sam Altman is incapable of thinking about. Here's another top comment that puts it aptly. He's not just defending AI energy use, he is smuggling in a whole anthropology where humans are basically inefficient meat computers that you have to pour food and years into before they become.
I thought that the use of AI was meant to serve humans, not the other way around.
Useful. Again, viewing humans that he deems underneath him as a means to an end, and as a means to his end specifically. And once you accept that, the next move is obvious. If people are just costly biological training runs, then burning mountains of electricity to build synthetic intelligence starts to feel not only equal, but superior, even if it negatively impacts actual humans.
Imagine, lately, there have been people dying by the AI because they were, I don't know, the AI just does not have emotions or feelings and just brought them to a wrong situation and provoked some situations that shouldn't happen.
There is no consideration for impact on humans. It's just about, like, how can humans serve
That's one of the examples, by the way.
our agendas? And if they're worse at serving our agendas than AI, then who gives a shit about humanity is essentially like the message. It's the subtext. He continues, this is dystopian. It makes human development sound like a bug in the system, and it makes sacrificing human and creational flourishing for more computational power sound logical. To him, the grid gets strained, prices go up, ecosystems get hit, but hey, humans eat too, so what's the difference? This dude talks like how Agent Smith talks to Morpheus about human beings. The statement concludes with the difference is that humans aren't an inefficient line item. They're the point. If your worldview can look
I thought that AI was meant to help humans.
at a child grown up into an adult and describe it as energy spent to train intelligence, you haven't said something profound. You have revealed a horrifically rotten worldview. I could not have put it better myself. The whole point of humanity is that, yes, sometimes we suck. Oftentimes, we're not perfect.
Yes.
But we as a collective species are
worth
together,
it.
and we're trying to solve
Yes,
problems
we are
one
worth
day
it.
at a time, and hoping that we can all come together for the collective future of all of us and the planet that we live in. That's the point, because at the end of the day, what we want as human beings is to live a full life, to have the human experience before our time is up. And to that end, we make sacrifices that from a logical standpoint might be inefficient, but those inefficiencies are worth it if we can make human lives better, if we can allow human beings to be happy, if we get to watch a child grow up and have a fulfilling life. Like, that's worth it. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
the whole
life.
point.
That is worth the energy
That's
consumed
what we are
because we're
working
talking
for.
about humans. Whereas artificial intelligence, it's just
Does Sam Altman as a child or something like that, do you think he treats his child like you're just a fucking meat grinder? It's probably not a good household, I gotta be honest. But imagine also this. He probably has a higher grade of education than the children, so they probably think exactly the same as he. That's how I imagine. Like, this is not only about Sam Altman, but it's also about the people that hire higher ups, like in the government or stuff like that. These people genuinely feel like that. They genuinely think like that. That we are just meat grinders.
just a machine that serves right now more the agendas and purposes and goals of corporations. And so to view spending energy on ensuring humanity is happy, that individual humans are trained, quote unquote, or that they're raised and that they grow up to be just proper beings who get to live a full life, to view that as like inefficient compared to what AI can accomplish, to remotely even be able to perceive the world this way, just shows a complete lack of soul and humanity and heart. And having people like this be in power and run the world and define the direction of the world means the end of humanity in the long term, because there is no consideration for the genuine betterment of humanity and the world that we live in. Someone put this very aptly. This is the talk of a traitor to the...
Are we sure he's even human? Show me again that meme about Mark Zuckerberg wearing a lizard. Thank you.
The human race. This is someone who's saying machines logistically just are better and more efficient and faster at tasks. It has the potential to be much more perfect and much more productive than the imperfect nature of humanity. But it's our imperfections that make us perfectly human, that allow us to have those human experiences that make all of this thing we call life worth living and worth struggling through, because we experience the beauty of it as well. These are all things that machines cannot understand. And like it misses the whole point of what it is to even be human, the whole point of us being on this planet. Other responses include people saying things like, this is why we need philosophers and not only coding nerds, because you've got geniuses who will, like, for them to scratch the itch of their curiosity, or for the riches that await them if they succeed in their endeavors, they're willing to sacrifice everything and anything, including humanity as a whole. Here's a father who said, computer scientist and new dad here. I'm raising a child because that's the joy of life. I'm running for Congress because my son, all of our kids deserve AI that enriches their lives and works for them, not against them. Altman's mission seems to be unfettered AI at all of our expense. He's completely lost the plot. The human experience is a blessing, not a burden.
The human experience is a blessing, not a burden. This fucking guy. Congratulations. You are raising your kid right. You should be proud of that. Now this Sam Altman, what a fucking creep. He's such a fucking weirdo.
We collectively as a human race, I think ultimately we want to ensure we set a foundation where we can all survive and thrive within that survival, so we can live and not just survive, right? That's what the end goal should be. But for CEOs like Sam Altman, that is like the furthest thing from their minds. He doesn't inherently view human life as precious. Here's somebody else who also put it aptly. He's saying a really big spreadsheet and a baby are morally equivalent. One reason to believe that life is divine is so that you don't allow sociopaths like this anywhere near anything important.
And he's
the way
in power.
Sam Altman speaks
That's
is
not very
straight
good.
up like classic supervillain talk in fictional works. This is how like cyberpunk CEOs talk. Here's somebody else saying this is an evil, warped worldview from an evil, warped man who has lost his humanity and doesn't see people as any different to machines with a work financial purpose.
The problem is that it's not only him. Like I told you, it's businessmen, it's people higher up in the government. They only think like that. He's not the only one. Even on my country, if I think about the prime minister, I think about this. I think he's just evil, basically, and he just sees people as machines for work, in finance purpose, basically. Because even the laws that he has passed through recently, it feels a lot like that.
We are inefficient tools to the inhuman cretin. He can't be fixed. The world is worse for his existence. Here's another viewpoint that went viral: 1 second of one human life is worth more than all AI combined. There's a certain kind of like sanctity to life, because we all know what it's like to go through it and to struggle through it and to find the joys in it, and to struggle for that joy, trying to look for our purpose or trying to find ways to leave something behind. You know, we're just anything that makes this all, like the time we spend on this earth,
being
worthwhile. Like we all search for that, and we all know what it's like to know that one day, like, it'll come to an end for each and every one of us. And so we want to make the most out of the time that we have left. That's something we all collectively share, and we all have that same experience. No matter who we are as people, no matter where we come from, no matter what our ideals are, one thing that unites us all is the human experience. Us, like, exploring whatever the heck this even is, right? This is like starting to get existential, but it is becoming
the reality
at this point.
Yes,
with
it's
the
the
way
reality
these
that we are
CEOs
going.
view us. Here's someone else who kind of put it aptly. This is how industrial agriculture talks about livestock. Yeah, that's what we are.
Exactly.
Livestock who serve as currency. And here's the cherry on top to all of this. What Sam Altman presented here is actually completely false if you do the math on how much energy humans consume compared to AI.
How does that work?
Gupta, who actually broke the numbers down and highlighted just how wrong Sam Altman is in his inhumane assertion, stating a human consumes about 2,000 calories per day. Over 20 years, that's roughly 17,000 kilowatt hour of total food energy. Training GPT-4 consumed an estimated 50 gigawatt hour of electricity. That's 3,000 humans worth of training energy for a single model run. Openai retired GPT-4o from ChatGPT on February 13th. The model that took 50 gigawatts to train got less than 2 years of flagship status before replacement. The human you spent 17,000 kilowatt hours training for 20 years produces economic output for the next 40 to 60 years. So even if you view human beings as currency, human beings actually offer more than what AI does.
I didn't think about
like,
that
by a long shot.
way.
And things are only getting worse with each new edition of GPT. So GPT 5.2 released on December of 2020.
I heard that this GPT uses a lot of energy, like the correspondent to a couple of governments around the world. That's a big price to pay. Shit's not going to go down for America in a couple of years. You are going to face another crash. I'm very sorry about you. But we will suffer also because of the way the world is going. We are all interconnected. We are here to stay. So if you crash, we probably will crash also.
25, and it consumes 8.6 times more electricity per response than ChatGPT 4.
Holy
Even
shit.
at a blended average well below 18 watt hours, you're looking at daily electricity consumption that could power over 1 million American households.
Jesus
OpenAI
Christ.
hit $13 billion in annual recurring revenue, but still isn't profitable. They need you to think of AI energy consumption as natural and inevitable, the same way you think about feeding a child, because the alternative framing is that they're burning through enough electricity to rival small countries while racing to build 1 gigawatt Stargate data centers. It's all about marketing and presenting the technology
Rival small
in
countries.
the way that they want to present it. It's all about twisting the narrative to their liking to try to manipulate.
I wonder how much money ChatGPT is losing by the moment. It's probably a couple billions for a month. Yeah, it's probably a couple billions each month. I'm not sure. Future me takes care of that, okay? Take care of that, future me. Thank you.
The masses in a way that allows their monetary investment, the billions that have been burned in this pursuit for this technological race, to be worthwhile and to see returns. That's what it's all about. They want you to accept the amount of water and electricity and resources that it takes to build and maintain AI. They want you to see that as just as valuable, if not more valuable, than feeding a child or raising a human being. They want that level of mass acceptance so that they can profit off of this technology at a level that will allow them to recoup the like immense amount of money that they've burned building this technology, investing in this technology, and maintaining this technology. Here's another analysis saying that training GPT-4 cost 50,000 to 60,000 megawatt hours of electricity.
Jesus.
That is 3,000 times more energy than raising a human being to adulthood. And GPT-4 is already obsolete. The next model will cost more. The one after that will cost more again. Alteman is now asking for 10 gigawatts for Stargate. That is the total power consumption of New York City. The food analogy is not wrong because it is imprecise. It is wrong because it is off by 3 orders of magnitude, and he knows it. People are more and more starting to see the mentality that's going on with artificial intelligence from the people in power, from the CEOs who are like spearheading the race towards the normalization of this technology. Somebody brought up this article right here that puts it aptly. People loved the dot-com boom. The internet was actually, for the most part,
it was very
beneficial.
good.
It connected the entire world together, and it made information accessible. It genuinely provided benefits that far exceed the detriments that the internet can at times
very
present.
good.
Whereas artificial intelligence, there's a boom that is not as loved as the dot-com boom. Tech leaders are beginning to worry about the public's underwhelming enthusiasm for their plans to remake the world with artificial intelligence. Because at the end of the day, human beings can sense that there's something about artificial intelligence and the push for this technology that feels really off, that does not really feel like it's for us. It feels more dehumanizing than anything, especially the way the technology is currently being employed and deployed and used and abused and exploited and being pursued without any consideration for how it impacts the rest of the world, how it impacts consumers, and how it impacts humanity as a race and a species. You can sense the complete lack of consideration for the consequences. And then
just
Sam
don't
Alteman
give
now
a
coming out
shit.
with that statement, it just like, I mean, it's not shocking that that's how he thinks, but he said it plain as day, and it shines a light on why we have to be so vigilant about AI as a technology. Again, I'm all for new tech. I'm all for seeing AI used in ways that are genuinely beneficial. But someone like Sam
is not
Alteman,
the way.
you cannot trust as far as you can throw.
Yeah, we
Time and
cannot
again, they've
trust
shown
him.
a complete disregard for the rest
not
of
only
us, right?
him,
For the humans that they
yes.
view as currency. And Sam Alteman coming out with that statement is the most egregious example of that and really gives us true insight into his mind and I would say heart, but I don't think he really has one. So yeah, this has kind of been gaining a ton of traction. It's something worth
just gives a
talking
shit about
because
his
we are
AI
delving into
and the money
philosophical
that he's
territory,
making.
ladies and gentlemen. And Sam Altman's view in particular is a mindset that comes from, as this user put it, transhumanism, the belief that humans are basically biological hardware that can be upgraded, replaced, or merged with machines. He basically frames people as cost units in a system, taking out the value of human life and experience entirely. That right there is the most important takeaway here, taking out the value of human life and experience entirely. If we don't have that, if we can't value that as a collective species, then like how are we going to thrive and survive together?
In the future.
And what's the point of any of it if we don't even care about that? And Sam Altman is one of those people who is in a powerful position now who doesn't give a shit about that aspect of things. And that's so extremely dangerous to the human race as a whole. Maybe the only bit of solace we can take from all of this is that Openai continues to burn through so much money that just about every analyst who is looking at OpenAI's financial
112
numbers
billion
are
more cash
suggesting
burn.
that at this rate, OpenAI is going to run out of money really soon, even with the billions that are being
hopefully.
invested on the part
Hopefully
of
it burns
external
and crashes
third-party
to the
companies.
ground.
Only time will tell how all of that plays out. But yeah, things are
The
really
thing
not
is
going good
that
for OpenAI.
it's going to be
just from a
stripped
business
for
standpoint.
parts, and
But that,
probably
folks, is
Microsoft
one-
will get it. That's the real issue. Like, probably will be stripped for parts, and it will be open for sale, and probably Microsoft will buy it, and we still will have OpenAI shit still going on. So I don't think that will change much, but at least the AI will start to slow down after that, because they will see that it doesn't bring any profits. It does not bring any profits, let's be honest. It didn't bring them any profits last year. They are trying to introduce ads onto that shit. Probably will not work out. They will still be losing lots of money. There will be another investing ground, and hopefully this time nobody invests, because this technology will not go anywhere. Hopefully that happens. Okay, that was me, Typhon. I will see you next time. Also, this was a very good video. Give him a like. I already am subscribed to him with notifications, so he's a very good good journalist. Bye bye.